Hey everyone, Storm Team 2 meteorologist Carly Smith. I wanted to kind of take some time to explain the science behind these extra gusty winds that we've been seeing. So basically what you're looking at is our satellite radar imagery with pressure highlighted by the lines. Those lines are called isobars. Around the low pressure system, right now we are seeing 974 millibars. That's the measurement of your pressure up there north of the Great Lakes into Canada. And that is very low, and you can see those isobars are very tight around that low pressure system. In fact, if this was a different type of low pressure system off in the Atlantic Ocean moving toward the United States, it would be typical of a hurricane low pressure system. But this is different. It is bringing tropical storm force winds to the Miami Valley, but like I said, this is a completely different setup. This low pressure system is the reason behind our gusty winds. Let's break it down. If we look closer at the Miami Valley, you'll see when we are forecasting winds, or the way we get winds in the atmosphere, is the air wants to move from high to low pressure. It wants to balance out the atmosphere. A balance is almost impossible to get. So that air moving from high to low pressure is known as the pressure gradient force. But of course, it's not that simple. Because the Earth is spinning, we have a force known as Coriolis that acts opposite of pressure gradient. Once again, if the atmosphere was perfect, the wind would be to the let's make sure I'm going to say this right. The wind would be to the left of that Coriolis force, and we would flow in between those isobars. But at the surface, there's friction, and so that's how we get that westerly wind. Now, because these isobars are so close together, there's not much space in between them, we get these really, really strong winds across the Miami Valley. So that's what we're seeing right now. Still seeing a 44-mile-per-hour wind gust at 741 measured at the airport in Dayton. 52 miles per hour up in Bellefontaine. So we're going to continue to see gusty winds throughout the evening, at least until 10 p.m. Then we'll finally start to see things cooling down. Sustained winds, 32 miles per hour in Dayton, 33 up in Bellefontaine, 30 miles per hour there in Wilmington. That wind warning, high wind warning, is in place until 10 p.m. The wind advisory, same story. So we still could see some 40 to 50 mile per hour wind gusts throughout the evening, especially in our northern counties north of I-70. So wind speed forecast, this is your sustained wind, still around 27 miles per hour at 10 p.m. But after 10 p.m., that's when we start to see the downfall. That's why that advisory and warnings should be allowed to expire. This is 2 a.m. We're seeing a 21 mile per hour wind speed forecasted for Dayton. So calming down into the night. That's the good news. By tomorrow morning, as you're headed back to work and school, temperature or wind speed should be there in the teens. However, your temperatures are going to be in the teens also. So a lot of cold air being brought in. Here's a look. You can see those isobars are on our future track. They're getting wider as we head into the night. Then, as we head into Monday, you can barely see the lines on your map. So that means we're not going to be quite as windy. In fact, into Monday night, we will be much calmer heading into Tuesday also. 24-hour temperature change, we're 16 degrees cooler than the same time yesterday. So several cold fronts have rolled through the low pressure system, bringing in the cold air. So it's important to note tomorrow you are going to want to bundle up. Pull out the winter coat if you didn't already today, the gloves, the scarves, the hats. 18 degrees is your low. And that's going to be about the time kids are headed to the school bus or on their way to school. 18 degrees in Dayton. So that's what I've got for you in terms of why we're seeing such crazy winds and the impact it's going to have on your future forecast for tomorrow. To get the latest forecast, you can see it right here on WDTN.com. And of course, we'll have it coming up tonight at 10 on Dayton CW and at 11 on 2 News.